the web series Linux System Administration. Myself, Mansoor Hassan. I'm Solution Architect in Techno Solution. Previously, we were discussing the directory management. In this video, we'll see the user management. User management in terms like how we can add the user, how we can manage the user, how we can delete the user. So let's quickly jump into our server to see. So in Linux, there are two utilities that can do for you. One is user add, and if you hit the help, so you will see there are several options. So similarly, there is one more utility that actually available is add user. So add user is also a utility that can gives you ability to create user. Uh, no such difference, but I rather prefer add user utility. So we could see what add user is offering. So add user minus minus help will tell us what options we can use. So there are several options which add user command accepts minus home. This will give you ability to define a custom directory. If your server has multiple shell, you can define the shell. This will say no need to create a home directory. You can specify a specific user ID. You can disable the asking for password. You can disable the login at the moment. You can add two extra groups. You can encrypt the home directory of a user. It also gives some ability. So you can use some parameters like minus minus system. This will give you ability to create a system account or system user. You can add a group, or also you can add a system group as well. So add user command gives you ability to do a lot of stuff. So let's do this, how we can add. So let's create a simple user, add user. And after that, we just need to specify the username. So in our case, first user. So then what happened? It says adding new user, adding new group, adding new user, creating a home directory, copying files from etc/skull. Then it's asking for password. We say, okay, let's have a simple password. Now it's asking for our more information like for full name, first, or nothing, for nothing, and we were saying that information is correct. All the users in the Linux are maintained in a file called etc passwd. If you go back into this file, so you will see the user we just created, it has all the entries. So let's understand this file as well. So this is the user name. This is the user ID. This is the user's group ID, which the part of it. Then it's the first name, then last name, and the information that we were talking about. Then it's a home directory path, and this is the shell we can assign to. So this is a simple user we just created. Now we will create a user with some advanced option. Like we need to specify a specific home directory. We are saying we don't want to create home users home directory under the home. We says create a home directory in MNT because we mounted a drive over there. So add user minus minus home, then MNT slash second user, and then username, second user. So what it will does, it will create a user for us and sets the home directory under the MNT. So if we navigate to MNT/MNT, we will see a home directory of second user is there. The owner and the group are the same that we requires to. But while we were creating user, you observe it's asking for password. But what if you don't want to set the password login, we just wanted to set up a SSH login. So what would we do that? So in that case, we just need to add a special parameter called minus minus disable password. So when we add a third user with the same existing command that we just ran, instead of second user, we will be saying third user, and the username is third user, and we just adding a parameter called minus minus disable password. So uh, you see, uh, at this before this step, it was asking for password, but at the moment it's not asking for password. Third user, and we will keep saying the informations are correct, and that. So let's say we need to add some more option. If we need to define a we already defined the home directory, we define the disable password. But what if we don't want to create, if we want to create a user without a home directory? So in that case, add user will give you ability to create uh, user without home directory. If we pass this parameter, um, add user minus minus no home directory uh, for the user. So at this time, it's saying not creating home directory because we already passed that no create home directory, but it is still asking for password. So we have to give the password. So we're saying for, we keep saying information is correct. So it created a user. So what if because we install a lot of softwares and we want a specific user to run the software? In that case, we don't create a regular user. We create a system user. To create a system user, we need to pass a parameter called minus minus system alongside a add user command. So we were saying minus minus system, and we also need to say minus minus no create home. We also need to say minus minus disable password because we don't want our system to ask the password. And we need to specify a username, service one. So you see the user is created right away. But when we create a system user, it's automatically add a user to no group, which is the user group for systems user or service accounts. So that's how we create users with different options. So how we can add a user to a specific groups? Let's say how we can view the current groups. So we can see a file called etc groups. So in this file, we all the groups are listed over here. So we would like to add a user into Sudo Group. So let's say we just created a user called third user. So we want that user to be added in that group. So what we will do, user mod space minus a. This will append all the existing group of the users, and then we need to specify a group, and then we need to say sudo and then third user. So what will happen if I say id third user? So you can see third user is a part of sudo group. So that is how, but existing groups are still there. If we want to add this particular user to another group like staff, so we just need to replace the sudo with staff. So if I do id again, so we can see third user is also become a part of staff user. So it's time to see how we can remove the user. So the way we add the user, the way we can delete the user as well. Tell user, and then we can say third user. So this will delete the user. But Del user, we need to see what Del users offers. So if we pass this command, this will remove home. And let's say if that if let's do this in a way like we previously we delayed the third user, uh, but its home directory is still there. So you can see the home directory is still there, but we already removed the user. So how we can remove the user alongside with all home directories? So we can say tell user remove home, and then we can say second user. So if we do second user group no number, not a backing up. Okay, it's not back because looking for backup in the file. Okay. Anyways, it looks like it's not deleting at the moment, but it removes the user. And it also removed the permission as well. So we need to remove, oh, that's the system user. That's why it's the system user. So that's how we can manage our users. So I hope this video will help. And if you guys need any suggestions, you can just ask a Linux help command. So it will tell you rest of the options as well. So that's it for the lecture. We will see you in the next.